Alright, so as you could tell, it is a crappy day outside if you're wanting to fly. But, good thing is, I'm ready to build. It is time to finally get started on this JEP RC GEP TX 5-inch 210 millimeter frame. I can't wait. It is time to build. Okay, so ready to get the build started. Let's go. Okay, so my brother put together one recently. He had put it all together and didn't have this battery strap in there yet. So I went ahead and I've already put that in. I decided I'm going to, look at this. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? Just so I could get one sheet. Just one sheet is all I needed so I could do this. Obviously, if you don't know already, I'm going to be using this foam to soft mount my motors. So first thing I'm going to do is figure out the size I want here and cut all these out. This is almost done. It's kind of a pain in the butt because it's, see that part still sticking up. So I'm going to be putting one screw in the motors just to hold them in place while I kind of try to figure out how long the wires need to be. I want to put my ESCs as close as I can. Let me zoom in. Okay, so I'm trying to get the ESCs as close as I can to the center of the frame, because everything I can do to get my center of gravity closer to the center, the better off I'll be. So that's why I'm doing that. The closer you can get your center of gravity to the actual center of the quad, the better off you're going to be as far as conserving energy. It takes more energy to move something with lots of weight to the outside of it. A real easy experiment is to take a, well, you could take like a broomstick, let's say. You can spin that thing around. Now if you put a a 2-pound weight on both sides of that and then tried to spin it around, it's going to be a lot harder. If you put those 2-pound weights together in your hand on the center of the broomstick and spun it around, it would be very easy again. Same concept. So obviously you can't do anything about having motors on the outside, and that's why having a light motor is important. I don't know how light these are that I'm using, these Emax. I've never used them before. Like I said, I'm very new just to the FPV scene, but I'm not new to electronics and things like that. So, trying to decide exactly where I want to mount this. And the problem I ran into with my last quad is that I had my power and ground too short on a few of my connections. I connected my ESC to the PDB first. Then when I went to connect the ESC to the motor, and I had already cut those wires, I almost couldn't reach. I mean, it was very tight in some of the spots. It ended up, I mean, it's fine, but I would like to leave myself at least a tiny bit of wiggle room. You know, like right here, I want to be able to lift this PDB off of these threads, and I could possibly have this so tight that I wouldn't even be able to do that. So we don't want that. We want to be able to get in here if we need to and work on something or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put these posts in. That's going to make it easier for me to decide what I want to do. At least putting one of them in here for a second. So I'm just temporarily putting some electrical tape around here exactly where I want it, hopefully. Or at least close. I've got it up as far as I can really put it and still make it flush with the arm. So now I kind of want to put these on here just to hold this board down a little bit. Now I can properly cut I know I'm using these scissors, right? But my actual wire cutters are not very good, so these actually work just fine. Okay, so obviously I'm going to go all the way around now and do all 4 of these, and this is not a quick process for me because I'm trying to get it just right. So there's the first one. Anyway, we'll get the PDB ready, solder all the pads, have this strip, get that on. to solder the ESCs to the PDB. Yeah, you know me. You put the ESCs on the PDB? Yeah, you know me. As I'm drinking my Speedway coffee. Speedway premium coffee. Just kidding. I'm trying to figure out how I want to mount everything. So I'm like, well, I feel like I'm at a stage where I better put this thing together and see how the rest of it's going to fit. So I can get my wires trimmed and such. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't have the camera recording because I'm using my RunCam here, and it gets hot. Anyway, I don't know if this is how this is supposed to go, but it comes with this rubber grommet to go in here, which what fits inside the hole but the transmitter. That's the only thing that fits in there, so I assume that's what we were meant to do. I don't know, but it works for me. So that's how we're going to do this. And at least I think, I want to see if that's going to be too high, and it looks like it might be. Son of a bitch. Wow, it actually isn't. Wow. The transmitter is literally going to be sitting right on the ground. The plug is going to be right on the board. I may just put a little piece of electrical tape right there because I don't like that. Anyway. Well, I could solder on the motors. I mean, is it okay to do this upside down? Fuck if I know. One thing I would suggest is before you solder anything on your flight controller, plug it in to make sure it's working. Make sure you can flash it, all that stuff. There's plenty of videos out there showing you how to deal with the problems you'll likely run into if you've never done it before. Making sure you have the right drivers is mainly what it is. This won't even screw on, friends.
not break a freaking prop. I got too much, I don't give a shit. Like, I would just try anything.
Okay, so I hooked it up to Betaflight and got it flash with the latest version. On this flight controller, you want to target Airbot F4. You could also target Revo, but there's a, I think like the LED was fixed to work for Airbot F4 that works on this board, supposedly. I didn't get the LEDs to work on my last build, so I'm not even going to hook them up this time. Last thing I'm going to be doing is putting on electrical tape around the ESCs, and then putting on the, well, I was going to say put on the pads, but I got an underslung battery on this one, so I won't be doing that. I guess the next thing I'll do is put on Velcro on the bottom here, so this isn't slick. And then I'll also put Velcro on the battery plate. And that'll be it. She'll be ready for her maiden flight, hopefully tomorrow. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate everything. I will reply to every comment that I physically have time to do. And that's it, guys. The next videos will be covering, well, I've got lots of different things that are going to be coming, but I assume I'll be recording some stuff with this new quad here in the next week or so. So be looking for that. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later.